Okay, my friends, welcome to this chess video. I must apologize for the audio quality of my last effort. I'm getting to grips with the controls in this computer, and I will need some experimentation just to get them right. But I have a game, Mikhail Tal and Grandmaster Mikhail Stean, who's an English Grandmaster. Mikhail Stean actually wrote one of the best chess books I've ever read, Simple Chess, looking at solid positional concepts. It's a brilliantly authored book. But again, we have another Sicilian on the chessboard, and this time a Najdorf Sicilian, named after Argentinian Grandmaster Miguel Najdorf. Possibly one of the most dangerous things you can do in chess is play the Najdorf against Mikhail Tal. But okay, Mikhail Stean is up to the challenge. Now, there are many continuations here. You can play the English with the bishop coming to e3. You can play the Fischer-Sozin with the bishop coming to c4 and then b3, castling kingside. Here, Mikhail Tal chooses the bishop to g5 variation. And the bishop has come here with the intent to exchange itself for the f6 knight, getting some control over d5 square. Mikhail Stean plays e6. He'd rather avoid double pawns, even though it puts the knight in a kind of self pin here. We have f4, and again this dynamic structure that we saw in the last video. Knight bd7 and queen to f3 and queen to c7. And here Mikhail Tal plays queenside castling, and immediately Mikhail Stean begins his counterplay on the queen side. Now, what would you play here in this position? Would you like to pause the video and have a little think about it? Now, the move that Mikhail Tal played simply would not occur to me. He played bishop takes on b5. A takes on b5 and knight takes on b5. A piece sacrifice. Now, I actually think this idea originated with David Bronstein, and I think I read about it somewhere, but I cannot be sure. Now, we've got to ask ourselves the question, what does white get for his piece sacrifice? Okay, he gets 2 pawns, but he also gets some tempi against the Dusky Maiden here. He's got pressure along the d file and particularly on d6. But in any eventuality, he has also got 2 unopposed queenside pawns here. And he's trying to exploit his leading development here. It's a very, very interesting concept. This idea of this piece sacrifice to gain time that your opponent simply does not have. Well, the queen went to b8 and e5, immediately trying to open up the centre. Bishop came to b7, tempoing the queen. The queen was undeterred. She went to e2, takes, and here Mikhail Tal does not immediately recapture. He has a greater threat here, and he plays queen to c4. Maybe with the idea bringing the knight here. Bishop to c5. Now the bishop exchanges itself for the knight because the knight cannot recapture He's defending this bishop here. So Mikhail Stean has got to compromise his pawn structure with g takes f6. What would you play here? In order to get even more advantage out of this, Mikhail Tal plays rook takes here, knowing that the king has to recapture and find himself in the center of the chessboard. With the queen and these hungry knights just about right on the castle lawn. Well, it looks like Mikhail Stean can get out of this with a tempo move here, saving his bishop. The king's position is compromised, and the rook comes into the game with tempo. Bishop d4, captures, and here Mikhail Tal chooses to capture with the knight. King to e7, and it looks like we're in for a good old king hunt here. Black pieces are all in the back rank. The rooks have not even come into the game, and the queen is looking somewhat cowed here. Behind the bishop here on b8. What would you play here? Well, my immediate idea would be to come with the queen here to d7, but the king can kind of escape here. And Mikhail Tal played the best move. He played queen to c5, trying to flush the king out. Rook came to f1, king d6, queen e7, preparing to bring the queen here, and probably the rook up somewhere along here, maybe the knight as well. Well, the knight's got to come this way, I suppose. And realizing this, Mikhail Stean played f5, trying to block the communication between the rook and the queen. Queen to e6, check. King to d7. Again we have queen e7, check. King g6. And here Mikhail Tal played an excellent move, h4. Providing an anchor point for the queen here. But as you'll see, he had a much stronger idea. And there's actually a forced mate here, believe it or not. A mate in 7, I think. It's not entirely easy to see. I mean, I never saw it, but I'm a very average chess player. But it begins with h5. Now, after h5, the king has two choices. He can either take the pawn, or he can try and scurry away to h6. If he goes to h6, we have this pattern here. Queen's got to give herself up. And he gets mated like this. So he's got to take here on h5. Queen f7 check. King h4. Queen f6 check. King's getting hunted down. Queen g5. King h2. Queen h4 check. King takes here. And what do you play now? Rook f2 check. King g1. Knight e2 checkmate. If you manage to see all of that, well, you're a pure genius. You're Mikhail Tal level genius. I never actually saw it. It was too hard for my measly brain. But I appreciated it. And it all really started here hunting the king down. So what to learn from this? It's essentially how to exploit a lead in development, even to create the conditions for a lead in development. And it all began with this surprising move when the bishop took on b5, right about just here. I mean, maybe by today's standard this variation has been equalized by computers, I don't know. But it appears conceptually very interesting to my mind. Making sure the king stays in the centre, bringing pieces in with tempi, opening up lines, restricting the king, and eventually making him dance, leaving Nicki Minaj there, and hunting him down. A good old-fashioned king hunt. So my chess friends, it was simply a little game I enjoyed very much playing through and relating to you, and it's my sincere hope that you enjoyed it too. So suffice to say, I thank you sincerely for taking the time to watch this video, and I wish you well with your own chess. Take care and goodbye.
Que nada sai da minha frente e eu quero passar, pois o samba está animado. O que eu quero é samba, esse samba que misto de maracatu, é samba de preto velho, samba de preto tu. Mais que nada, um samba como este tão legal, você não vai querer que eu chegue no final.